top 3 foods to eat every morning to rebuild leg strength fast. Most people who struggle with weak, heavy legs have already been told what to do. Eat more protein. Walk more. Take your calcium. And they do. But the legs still feel heavy in the morning. Still tire out on the stairs. Still feel unsteady getting up from a chair. Here's what almost nobody talks about: the foods that can actually change that. Not because they're trendy, but because of what they do inside your body. Starting with the very first one on this list. Number 1, beet juice. This one surprises people. Beets aren't usually the first thing that comes to mind when you think about leg strength, but what's inside them makes beet juice one of the most direct ways to address what's actually slowing your legs down. Here's the thing about your leg muscles. They need a steady supply of oxygen to contract, recover, and stay strong. As you get older, the blood vessels that supply your lower body become less flexible. Circulation slows, and that means less oxygen reaching your thighs, your calves, your hamstrings, the muscles that keep you stable, mobile, and independent. Beets contain natural compounds that your body turns into a signal, telling your blood vessels to relax and open up. When that happens, more blood reaches your lower body. Your leg muscles get more of what they need to function, to contract, and to recover. Research suggests this effect can begin within 1 to 2 hours of drinking it. For older adults, the practical result isn't an athletic boost. It's legs that feel less heavy, less stiff, and more responsive during the things that matter most: walking, climbing stairs, standing up without hesitation. For best results, choose a juice that is 100% beet, unsweetened, with no added fruit juice or concentrate. Drink 4 to 6 ounces first thing in the morning before eating. This gives your body time to process those compounds before your first movements of the day. If the taste feels too strong, dilute it with a small amount of water. The effect holds. One note worth mentioning: beets are high in a natural compound that can affect the kidneys. If you have a history of kidney stones, speak with your doctor before making this a daily habit. Beet juice doesn't build muscle directly. What it does is make sure the muscles you already have are actually receiving the circulation they need to work. That's the piece most people are missing, and nobody mentions it when they tell you to eat more protein. Have you ever noticed your legs feeling heavier and stiffer first thing in the morning, more than they do later in the day? Comment below. You're not alone. And there's a real reason for that. The second food works in a completely different way, and it addresses something that better circulation alone can't fix. Number 2, salmon. Here's what the protein conversation about leg strength almost always leaves out. Your body can take in protein perfectly and still fail to use it to rebuild muscle if something else is blocking the process. In older adults, there's a low level of inflammation that runs constantly in the background. It doesn't cause obvious symptoms on most days, but it interferes with the signals your muscles need to repair themselves after any kind of effort, even a short walk or a trip up the stairs. Your body is trying to rebuild. The inflammation is quietly getting in the way. Salmon contains 2 things that address this directly. The first is omega-3s, the healthy fats that enter muscle tissue and reduce the specific compounds behind that ongoing inflammation. The second is vitamin D, which supports how your muscles actually contract and hold your weight. Low vitamin D is common in adults over 60, often going undetected for years. Research links it to leg weakness, slower walking pace, and reduced stability. Salmon provides both omega-3s and vitamin D in a single meal, targeting two separate parts of the same problem. For best results, choose wild-caught when available. Bake or grill it simply. Lemon, olive oil, fresh herbs. A 4-ounce serving 2 to 3 times a week is enough to begin reducing the inflammation inside your muscle tissue over time. If salmon isn't accessible, sardines and canned tuna in water provide the same omega-3 and vitamin D profile. The format doesn't matter. Consistency does. Salmon doesn't just feed your muscles. It removes the internal resistance that keeps them from responding to everything else you're already doing. That's a different kind of nutrition than most people think about. Now, number 3 connects both of these, and it's the one most people completely overlook. Number 3, cooked spinach. When people think about spinach and strength, they think iron. And iron matters. But that's not the most important reason spinach belongs at the top of this list. Spinach is one of the richest sources of the same natural compounds found in beets. The ones that signal your blood vessels to open and improve circulation to your legs. So it reinforces what beet juice starts. But spinach adds something beets don't provide in the same way: magnesium, potassium, and calcium. 3 minerals your muscles depend on for contraction, for relaxation, and for the communication between your brain and your legs. When any one of these minerals runs low, your legs pay the price. Cramps at night, a feeling of heaviness that doesn't lift, slow reaction when you need to move quickly. Your muscles aren't broken. The signals between your nervous system and your legs are simply missing what they need to get through. Cooking spinach matters here. Raw spinach contains natural compounds that bind to those minerals and reduce how much your body actually absorbs. A quick sauté in a small amount of olive oil, or a brief steam, breaks those down, without destroying the nutrients your legs need. Your body gets more out of every bite. Studies in older adults suggest that regularly eating greens like spinach is associated with better leg performance and walking efficiency over time. The proposed reason combines improved blood flow, same mechanism as beets, with direct mineral support for the signals that tell your muscles when and how hard to contract. Add 1 cup of cooked spinach to lunch or dinner. Sauté it with garlic and a little olive oil. Stir it into soups or scrambled eggs. Daily consistency matters more than the amount at any single meal. Spinach does something simple but underestimated. It makes sure the communication between your brain and your leg muscles is actually getting through. When that signal is clear and the blood flow is open, your legs respond the way they're supposed to. Those are the 3 most direct. But there are other foods worth adding once these are consistent in your routine, each one targeting a specific piece of the same problem. Tart cherry juice. If your legs feel sore after light activity, or you regularly wake up stiff, this one is worth knowing about. It's rich in natural plant compounds that reduce muscle soreness and speed recovery after any kind of effort. 6 to 8 ounces in the evening, unsweetened. Look for 100% tart cherry, not a blended cherry drink or a cocktail version. Lentils. Most people skip this one entirely in the leg strength conversation. Your leg muscles don't just need protein, they need steady fuel to actually use that protein. Lentils digest slowly, keep your energy stable through the evening, and contain a key building block your muscles use to repair themselves at the cellular level. 1 cup at lunch or dinner, seasoned with turmeric and garlic, can reduce the mid-afternoon leg fatigue that many older adults accept as normal, but isn't. Pumpkin seeds. One of the most concentrated food sources of magnesium you can add to your morning. If you experience leg cramps, nighttime twitching, or that feeling of muscles that just won't fully relax, low magnesium is often part of the reason. 2 tablespoons of raw or soaked pumpkin seeds in the morning, added to a smoothie or eaten with fruit, can begin filling that gap without any complicated preparation. And bone broth. This one rounds out the recovery side. It's rich in proteins that support the repair of connective tissue around your joints, the tendons and ligaments that rarely get mentioned in conversations about leg strength, but that directly affect how stable and pain-free your legs feel during movement. 1 warm cup after activity or before bed from a slow-simmered source without added sodium is enough to support that repair process, day after day. Here's the honest summary of what these foods actually do. Beet juice opens up circulation, so your muscles receive the oxygen they need to function. Salmon quiets the ongoing inflammation that blocks your muscles from repairing themselves. Cooked spinach ensures the signals between your brain and your legs have the mineral support to actually get through. Tart cherry juice speeds recovery after effort. Lentils provide the sustained energy your muscles need to use everything else. Pumpkin seeds correct the mineral gap that causes cramps and instability. Bone broth supports the connective tissue that holds your joints together through every step you take. None of these work because they're special. They work because each one addresses a specific reason why legs weaken, a reason that usually goes unaddressed while people focus only on protein and exercise. Leg weakness isn't always a strength problem. Often, it's a delivery problem, a recovery problem, a communication problem between your brain and your muscles. When you start correcting those, the strength your legs already have gets a real chance to show up. Start with 1. Beet juice in the morning. Salmon twice this week. A cup of cooked spinach at dinner. Give it a few days of consistency, not hours, and pay attention to how your legs respond. Small, steady changes in what you eat create real, lasting differences in how your body functions. Your legs aren't giving up on you. Give them what they need, consistently, and they'll keep carrying you forward. If this was helpful, make sure you're subscribed. There's more coming on this channel about the small, practical things you can do every day to keep your body strong and your independence intact. The kind of information that doesn't always make it into a doctor's appointment, but makes a real difference in how you feel. We'll see you in the next one.